My beautiful stars, reading time. Going for our beautiful love pop. It's a person on your mind. See what's going. Actually, I might get these first. Let's see those red cards. Okay, yellow cards you, red cards connected energy. Hold on. All right, this is sacred balance taking place right now. All right, sacred balance, empowerment spiral. Okay, so this collective, you've stood up for yourself in this dynamic. For there to be now a big shift in whatever this connection is, this collective, you finally found your voice with something and it's amplifying your inner strength. So whatever situation, and it makes sense with why I wanted to do a channeled message. So you've clearly got someone fretting. Maybe this is the first time you've actually put boundaries up with this person. Maybe this is the first time you've really kind of seen yourself in this dynamic, and you've kind of put your own needs and wants in front of this person's needs and wants, even if it was a situation that was hard, even if it was a situation that was repetitive. Maybe you're one of my collectives when it comes to this person on your mind. You just can never seem to choose yourself. There's just this magnetic draw. Your love orbits, it always ends up the same. This collective, this is really good energy. You're amplifying your inner strength right now. Every step forward builds unstoppable momentum. You'd be feeling good. You'd be feeling good. Phoenix rising. Oh my God. I did a reading, it was a few months ago now. I'm hearing it, and it was, I've actually had quite a few collectives that have been standing in their strength. But I remember saying it was like, that collective, you would finally found your voice, and it was just like this huge wake up moment for you. And I feel this collective, whatever you've just done here, 23rd of January, that could be a birthday or an important memory or an important date coming up. You feel like you're rising from the ashes. It's like this person burnt you one too many times. When the games finally backfire, you've ignited that inner fire within. So maybe even in the past, if you had tried to put up some kind of boundary, let's say you would, and this person would say disappear again or leave you with unanswered questions. There's a reason this is coming to my mind, don't make it fit. And let's say they would disappear or ghost, and then let's say they would reappear in a few weeks or a month later. It's like all of those boundaries or the things that you put on the table, because they disappeared, it's like you took 10 steps back. It's like they would appear and everything you said kind of went out the window, and it kind of became a pattern in your dynamic. It's like this person, without them even knowing subconsciously, it's like they knew how to start dealing with you when you were amplified in emotion. I'll just silence for a little bit. I'll come back and pretend like nothing happened and everything will be okay. This collective, I feel there's something here you've finally broken. And instead of feeling overwhelmed and questioning what you've done, you're rising very, very strongly. You're finally reclaiming your power and your energy. You're transforming through setbacks into opportunities for growth. This is very good. You're putting a very important balance into this dynamic right now. Okay. I am hearing this. If this is, and it's funny, I always say 66 days to create, imprint a habit in your mind. And if this has been you with this person for a very long time, this same habit's been created, habit of you craving them, longing for them, and you finally kind of, the energy we're describing, don't be hard on yourself if that old thought pattern comes up, because there's clearly a reason you'd still be watching this, because this right collective, whatever this moment was, whoa, it will fire through you, right? So if there is a little bit of longing or uncertainty or whatever it is, it's that habit belief system you're trying to break. Okay, stand in your strength, because look at what it's doing for you energetically, right? And in the moment that it happened, you would have felt this. You would have felt like this was going to transform you, but maybe you did this, would have been only a couple of weeks ago or a little bit ago, and it's starting to, you know, gravitate back into your mind. There's a reason I brought up that reading a few months ago. Maybe, actually, let's get specific. You know me, I like to get specific with you guys. I'm actually going to get a big dice. Let's see what number, because there's 20 numbers on this. 20 could be important. Oh, 2. Should have just got a little dice. But the dates next to it. So we've got 12th. It could have been the 2nd of the 12th or the 12th of the 2nd. 18th of, I doubt it was 18th of last year, but let's be real. Could have been 18 days ago, 18 weeks ago, 2 weeks, 2 months ago. They're important numbers. So maybe that's why it's maybe starting to play on your mind. Maybe you are wanting to know how this person's feeling about this, or if it's impacted them, or anyway, there's a reason I wanted to see how they're feeling, but we'll get into it. Let's just keep going with this first. Oh my God. It was a cosmic alignment. It was a lunar blessing. So it was done around an important moon phase as well, or through a certain retrograde or transit. So your strength came from up above. Number 37 and number 40, your first card. The moon cycles are offering you guidance of rhythm. And I'm sure we've got a really crazy alignment today, the 10th for cardinal signs. I'm not quite sure. Whatever the case, you clearly got this acceleration of power from up above, but you trusted that gut instinct, that inspired action that they electrified through your soul. If you, out of nowhere, just kind of, however you did choose to put this balance into place and choose yourself to have a phoenix here, it caused a fire. So it wouldn't have just been something little, but instead of, you know, you maybe really turned to your team at that time. Maybe you asked them for a sign if you should move forward with what you were feeling to do. Whatever the case, it was definitely cosmically activated, and you trusted yourself in that moment. But they definitely electrified this energy through you, through intuition, and that's beautiful. All right. Oh, there we go. So they're in a flood of fear right now. For them to be in a flood of fear kind of confirms what we said before. You could have tried to put up certain, you know, boundaries before, but I don't think you've ever done it in this kind of strength, especially because a balance is occurring through it. So for this person to be flooded in fear, they clearly feel like they've crossed a line, or that your energy isn't available for them anymore. The fear is crippling them right now. So 63 could be important. The Alchemist. So whatever you felt, you transmuted it into power, into that phoenix rising. You have the power to design your own destiny. And this is funny that it was paired with this, because this literally says, while they drown in doubt, you stand tall in power of your destiny. Let their uncertainty be their undoing. Oh, I don't like how it's very attacky, this, but just, it's more like this literally says their undoing, and remain unwavering in your strength. I definitely think you need to stay in your strength, especially if you have some form of ignition right now with this person, or wanting to budge. I doubt this collective does, because look at this energy. But again, there's a reason this is finding you. if they have shut down how they've always shut down, but you on your end broke the cycle, you handled this differently, but them on their end, because everything we say is for a reason, left you unread, ghosted, blocked, disappear in silence, they still need to learn their lesson on their end, right? So again, like we said, if this is the pattern for you guys, they disappear and come back and you normally break with this. Although this person's in fear. So like I said, I think this was done in a lot more strength than you had in the past. You've still got one more lesson here, right? And I will say this, and I say this all the time, anyone that's bound and orbits you like this with the lessons and the cycles, this is some form of connection and energy that's carried from lifetime to lifetime that has not been learnt and dealt with properly. Let it be karmic, any kind of soul tie, any kind of soul tie. It doesn't just happen with divines. Now, if you've learnt your lesson here, but they haven't learnt theirs, you're going to have to stand in strength one more time, right? This person still needs to learn their lesson of the way they deal with emotion. The right collective, you'll know exactly what I'm saying. So right now, this person seems a little bit lost. Let's get one more for them. That is in fear. Two wanted to come out then. Oh, cloak of invisibility. So they'd be watching you on the side, mirror of deception. Maybe you called them on their deception and lies, and this is also, maybe they felt backed in a corner. If they're flooded in fear, watching in the background, and you wouldn't know they're watching, invisibility. So this would be something really sneaky, like burners, or they wouldn't be watching you on their normal profile because of deception. Again, you've given this person either some hard truths, or you asked them certain things in this conversation that were clearly probably correct, that they went into denial with. Okay. Their actions are backfiring when the games backfire. They're trying to go unseen right now. Be careful. Okay, one more, and I'm going to get those yellow cards quickly. Oh, the veins of deception. Look at what they're sitting in. They don't have resources to you anymore. So they're definitely not feeling your energy. And you can see it here. You're getting tugged on right now. Endless nights. Oh my gosh. Hold on a second. I want to get tarot. That is some big stuff. That's Nine of Swords energy. Hold on. How are they viewing this situation right now? Just talking to myself. What I was saying, you've got two cards here of their deception, right? Which is adding to their sleepless nights. Now, clearly the reason, because they can't feel your energy anymore. So this is why this person would be checking in. So, and whatever they're seeing from you, it's flooding them with fear, and it's making them feel even more that they can't access you anymore. So maybe this collective, you've started to date since this, or there's something that I think before your energy always seemed to be around or accessible to them. There's something that's shifted. Don't make it fit, because this is adding to their scarcity here. Whatever they're seeing from your end, they feel like they're losing you, right? So it makes sense with the acceleration of fear and scarcity mindset. But whatever this deception is, because anyone in their right mind, and we talk about it all the time, When there's not obstacles or damage or severe secrets or gaslighting, denial, you think about someone, you're going to call them, right? Because there's not those roadblocks. Oh, I was thinking about you. What are you doing? There's no nerves tied to it. The fact that this person is this kind of obsessively focused but holding back, whatever this deception is, whatever this conversation is, it's something quite confronting, because they would know they're choosing to look on the sidelines in pain because they know whatever, for you guys to come to the same page, these things need to be spoken, right? Which I think the fear of that at the moment, I'm not trying to upset this collective, but the fear of truths, the fear of what needs to be kind of ironed over to make this amicable again, kind of outweighs in them the longing for you, if they know it or not. Which, again, that means this person really struggles with depth of transparency and clear intention, which, broken record in any kind of relationship, friendship, familyship, workship, loveship, without trust, it's never going to be a long-term thing. You're delaying the inevitable, right? So is this person freaking out? Yeah. Are they having sleepless nights, trapped in the torment of this and what they've done? Clearly. Are they ready to take accountability? I don't think they're even aware enough to realize that the fear of being honest outweighs the fear of love that they feel for you right now. I don't even think they get it. It's clearly part of their trauma to suppress and subside and sit in long suffering. That's sad. But just confirming this here, it must be something quite big. But anyway, let's just confirm their perspective. Okay. I do think they're wanting to balance and put moderation and tranquility back into this. There's something about their excessive energy and the impatience towards this situation, right? That is really playing on their mind, but they're not silly. They know the discord and how off balance this is right now. But I think this is where they're really on the fence. I'm going to be honest. I think this person tries to fight their impulse. I don't know why I just heard this. Even this collective, them watching from the sidelines, maybe you've blocked this person, or there's something here that's different that's really making them fret, right? And if you have blocked them, maybe that's why they stop. Maybe they think, it's going to sound odd, it's making sense in my mind. If this person is prone to that childish block, unblock kind of game, maybe they know when someone blocks them, it can just make them feel like they're, obsessively thinking, because it's kind of a rejection wounding, right? And if they've experienced this before, and people that play that block game, right, it's like you normally block because you want to block before the other person blocks you, so subconsciously you've got control of the situation, right? This is coming out for a reason for this collective. I feel this person, and again, it's making sense in my mind, I feel this person, a part of them, if this collective, you do have them blocked, it's like they question, is there a sense of urgency here because you've blocked them, right? So they keep checking you every day on their normal profile to see if you're unblocked, but clearly not. So then they're checking you on whatever this is, right? To see why, or have you moved on, or have you this? And clearly whatever they are seeing and accessing, it's not what they usually see from you, because there's something here where your energy feels different and it feels detached in their eyes, right? So I feel they've just got all of these question marks in their mind. And if they are aware of that energy, of that blocking description, hopefully, again, it was making sense in my mind. It will make sense for the right collective. If they are aware of that, that means they are aware a little bit of their trauma and the things that can trigger them. Just saying, which isn't a bad thing. Now, this here, you're lucky that's come in reverse. I do think they're trying to look ahead, and I definitely think this person wants a turning point, a recovery point with you. But then look at how 50-50 they are in their mind with everything. I do think this person struggles with addictions, a bit of over excessive self-indulgence with maybe some naughty things in life. This card says very imbalanced, selfish, right? And a lot of emptiness. So I do think this person knows their behavior. They're starting to reflect. Clearly you've called them out on their selfishness or their lack of awareness, or maybe you actually brought up some character traits of this person, right? And it's really made them have to evaluate, because I think for them, I really do think this person wants to feel balanced emotionally. They want to kind of get through the things that maybe hold them back in life. There's something here about this person starting to crack open at least into a little bit of self-reflection and their deception, right? The way they can unfortunately do things that they're not proud of. But are they completely there? No. Let's be real. I feel this person's watching you on fake profile. Like, that's deceptive. It's like they're changing a little bit, but is it enough? I don't know. Do they see you as kind of a wish come true for them? Yeah, I do think so. But if they know they have all of these burdens within that make them do silly things, as much as they want to recover this and rebuild and create, again, I was talking to myself, what I was saying is I do think they know the potential of this, but then they have moments of thinking, but what's the point? I don't know if I'll ever be able to change. And what I was saying, this, anyone that's been on a healing journey, you all get to a point or multiple times on your healing journey, although I say healing's a forever thing, it's like the same trigger keeps coming up and you're like, will I ever change this? Like, how am I ever going to heal this? Like, you know, those moments. And I kind of am feeling that energy for this person. It's just certain things here, especially certain things that maybe you called them on, that they're now reflecting, I don't even know if I'll ever be able to change these. I don't know if I'll be able to change these habits. I love this person, but am I just delaying the inevitable? You've got 4 of Wands here both ways. Do I feel like this person wants to build a foundation and sees a prosperous future and a potential? Yes. But then they go over the discord, the imbalance. There could have been a lot of family grievances tied to this. They go through the lack of support that they've shown you for so long. Again, it's kind of that, how will you ever forgive the mess I've made? I feel this person is an over-processor. I feel anytime they feel something positive, right, it's straight away with the, but what if this happens? It's like the only card that's upright is this, and I think they try and find strength in it, but then it's all the excuses with how we won't be able to make positive changes, how we'll be able to rebuild, how will they ever accept anything that I want to say to them, how will they accept my truths, my scars, right? We'll never get a turning point. It's like everything has a but to it in their mind, right? No wonder they'd be in endless nights. It's like this person's so confused. They'd be exhausted. They'd be exhausted with their thought pattern. It would literally be draining them. 2 more. And another thing, this card is also about community. You've got to remember, the Right Collective, this person can access you through socials. So you have socials, you would have a community around you. I feel this is, because again, this is their perspective. Maybe there's something that they see around you that can really trigger them as well, and they know it shouldn't trigger them, but it does, and then that's another thing. This will forever trigger me. I'll forever be jealous, or I'll forever be this. How, like, there's just, I just feel there's certain things here that this person clearly sets themselves up for failure with all the negative self-talk and the self-doubt. And I think the biggest question mark comes to, this will never harmonize with all the damage that's been done. And it pains them because now they're starting to realize, unfortunately, And there's always two parties at fault, but I think this person has realized a little bit too late on how much damage they actually did bring to the table. And I think for a long time this person was in denial over what they had done here. I just want two more. How inflexible they were, inflexible, undisciplined, lack of they would feel lack of control now, but how they've been aggressive and rigid. And Ten of Swords, the betrayal, deception. There's Tower. I think they're not just going through internal towers, but external towers through this, and they're reflecting on the tower that was created with this. But am I just delaying the inevitable? What's the point? Whatever this was, you didn't just shake them up physically. Like, these towers are soul destroying. They're meant to. They're meant to create forward movement. They're meant to knock away the old. Remember, I was talking about the cycles. They've got to break their cycle here. But anyway, this didn't just give them a physical tower. It gave them a wake-up call, an energy surge within for internal chaos and internal reflection, which is good. And the fact it's come out for their perspective, they know it. The reason my mind took me to that really weird deviation that I could barely explain, it wasn't more for the fact of the block, it was the way they were reflecting on it. Because now that I'm seeing these cards, they really are starting to become at least aware of the things that they do and their behavior, which is good. I always say that's the first step to healing, self-awareness. Then you start to realize how your behavior repeats cycles, calls in the same people, the same situations. Once those two penny drops and you realize you are in control of your karma, your life's decisions, and your chaos, that's when the true change begins. This here, this ain't bad, right? That's the deception. So their perspective, the missing information, keeping you in the dark, the secrets, right? Withholding things, which has created the disconnect with you guys. But let's just say energetically, yes, we clearly know that's their perception. But energetically, they're so disconnected from their intuition right now because they're all over the place. Again, you're probably connected to an air sign or someone that has a lot of air placements. Air is all about the mind. You guys don't miss anything. You're the most observant out of all, right? And I just feel this person, and it can be a double-ended sword, because this is what happens. The overthinking, it can just stop us from making some really important decisions. One more. How do they see you as a person? I'm going to get into more detail, but I just want to, so you've got Lovers, that you've readjusted, you've released them. You've got new priorities, you're getting your life straight, you've dropped them now because all they were doing was burdening you. But they do see you as someone, it makes sense with this Nine of Cups and Four of Wands being here, right? There's a reason I said it's sad, because it feels like this person's waking up a little bit too late. And as I was reading them, I actually think that's been a thought pattern for them. How have I realized this when it's all too late? This person clearly would struggle with insecurities and self-confidence. And if you've really gone for the jugular here, whatever happened this last time, maybe you said this does nothing but burden me. I'm not going to do this anymore. You're not healthy for me. Whatever the case is, for them to be viewing you as, oh my God, that's a person tied to my soul, but they've let me go, flooded in fear. This is why they're going deep within, because of their behavior. It's sad. I'm seeing that right person, wrong time. I feel this person may be deep inside their soul, always thought you would come into alignment at the right time, but unfortunately, I don't want to say games, but their behavior, just to check if you were still there, right? It's tarnished this. And now they're starting to realize that was not the right thing to do. It was like they would always just pop in at really odd times. Were you still accepting to their energy? Were you still welcoming where you were in life? But little did this person know how much probably you were emotionally invested, right? They probably thought you were living your life, doing your thing, doing this, that this person wasn't just, because let's be real, you excuse it time and time again. There's a hurricane of emotion within, but I don't think this person ever knew it. So them coming in, doing these little things, I don't think they ever knew it was getting you to a point of completely breaking you down and making you question your confidence and worth, because they always held you up here. They probably thought they were just a passing thought, so they would just drop in. But I don't think this person was ever ready to give you what I think they actually believed you deserved, right? I am going to confirm all this, but it's coming in very strong. There's clearly an unbalanced dynamic here of how you guys see each other. And if you go back to right when you first started dating, for the right collective, this person would have conquered you. They would have made you feel like a goddess, a god. They would have you would have known the undeniable love and the high regard that they held you at. Now, clearly when you guys were first together, your lives were not aligning and they knew it. And probably back then, this is one of my cut and run collectives, they left before they could get hurt. But I think from the get-go of when you guys parted ways, 4 of Wands, 9, like this is what they're reflecting on. So you've experienced this with each other before, right? So they're questioning, how will we get back there, right? At the point of this, especially if it's a soul-bound connection, lessons, like we said before, it would have been left with unfinished business, right? It's like you were destined to orbit. But either of you were transparent through your time apart. You were probably my collective every time they popped up. Oh, hey, acting like you were having the time of your life while every day you were there craving and pining them. So then because you were acting like, hey, they would have their mask on. Cold, indifferent, detached, acting like a little player, acting uninterested. You were both wearing masks. It's like this person never wanted you to know how much they were hurting over this, and you were exactly the same. I'm seeing a complete mirrored dynamic here. Don't make it fit, because this channel's coming in strong, right? Normally when I see energy like this, I tell you guys, run for the hills, and I still think right now it's not time, but I feel the sadness. I feel the genuine remorse. I feel the deep reflection. The one thing that's just a little bit alarming is they're in so much pain, but they don't want to confront their deception, right? That's where the warning sign is here. But is the emotion here? Yeah, it's definitely here. But we'll break it all down. We'll break it all down. We'll confirm everything, but let's keep going. I actually want to see this collective's perspective too. I want to see what's around your heart space. Universe's perspective. We'll see how that goes. I'm on the fence if there's movement here. I think if anything, I feel this is a little bit protected, this connection. I'm going to be honest. And I think it's not meant to go into any more destruction. But again, I've got to confirm first. I'm just going to stop talking. Okay. Before we get the universe's perspective, I just want to get this collective's perspective. Stop. As I went to pick this deck up, they just flew everywhere. Oh, God. I think your emotion right now as you're watching this is probably all over the place. Again, this is finding you to stay in your strength, but maybe to have a little bit of a tweak in perspective. Okay, let's see your perspective though. Oh, Ten of Swords first card. I think you question, do I want to regenerate this? Can you yourself, can we move on from the past? Look at everything. Whatever this last point was, it was a rock bottom moment for you guys. So yes, you went through, this was a break of a cycle. You can feel it. And I know for this collective, I feel, unfortunately, it was just broken on your end because this person still dealt with it how they have every cycle, right? Watch from the beginning. So it's like we're half there because you broke it. So don't fall back this time. Stay strong. They've got to learn how to communicate without their running, right? So this collective first card, it's like you're realistic, but there's something that's come over you. And if it really is mirror, actually should have got them first. You would be feeling this person's pain. Like, I could feel it as I was reading them. It's so, I don't know the right word. I think remorseful's the right word. That Endless Nights, it's about 100 words in one. Grief. It's kind of grief. It's all different emotion in one, which is creating a lot of sadness. But the moments you want to regenerate, the moments you think of reconciliation, I think in the past you would be blinded to that. Now it's straight to, no, the betrayal, how can we come back from this? You guys are feeding that energy through each other. Oh, Ace of Pentacles in reverse. You're revising everything like them, but how unstable it was. So if once upon a time you would have seen this person as being a miracle for you, you go, oh no. Okay. It's the reason I said maybe your perspective needs to tweak. Have you been shown nothing but moodiness, repressed emotion, emotional unavailability, manipulation, self-focused energy? Yeah, you have, because they're reflecting on it, right? But I think right now, because maybe, and I see this a lot in my divines, once you break free from the longing obsessive phase, there's an anger phase, and it's like every time they come over you, you replace what was once loving emotion and accepting and understanding to straight away, no, but they're this, right? And this is where you see how much resentment you've built because of how long you chose to wait. And I'm not saying this to be confronting, but remember the deviation for the right collective. You were both as bad as each other, acting like nothing was wrong and oh hi, and then it would never end well, right? It would end up explosive, whatever the case. This is where the self-reflection comes, and of course you saw this behavior, but it's because you were wearing masks with one another. So how did they see your behavior? Your excessive happiness made them like, because they were there longing. Did they deal with it right? No. But did you know this at the time? No. You just thought they were being X, Y, and Z. Watch the whole reading, this collective. This is why I tell you guys, don't wear a mask. Be transparent. It's a detriment. You guys acting excessively nice and not wanting to be needy and it's all rubbish. This journey is to teach us to find our blueprint, our authenticity, right? You activate this in one another to find your own authenticity, but yet with one another, there's a lack of authenticity. Make it make sense, right? But you guys all go through this phase. But in moments like this, yes, you were shown this, but it was activated, unfortunately, because of the way you presented. Anyone that watches me, we talk about this shadow, that this journey is meant to make you heal, comes up in vulnerability. So you were walking with your defense because that would make you vulnerable and nervous, and then they were walking with their defense because you would make them vulnerable and nervous. And we say, don't overgeneralize people. People don't act the way you do or think the way you do. Oh, I would never do that if I love someone, or I would never do that. But you are not that person. Our brains think differently. So this collective, there's clearly a lot of resentment build up. Did this person treat you right? No, but how long did you excuse it for? How long did you wear your mask? How long did you pretend like this was all good and everything was okay, right? You were letting this person mistake your kindness for weakness because your kindness was only up because of weakness. It was not genuine kindness. You just didn't want this person to run away again, so you silenced yourself and walked on eggshells and pretended like you were the happiest person in the world. A trauma response for the right collective, right? Try not to see them like this because it's adding. Look at this person, right? I guarantee you this is a twinny collective. I guarantee you. As soon as I get your perspective, I'm going to confirm. And smell it all over it. Oh, the Six of Swords in reverse. No healing, bad stability. Everything just progressively gets worse and worse and worse. It's always a storm. It's never the again. Talking to myself. Six of Swords in reverse came up, and again I was just explaining the instability you feel, how it's slow healing. If not, there's no healing, right? Things just always seem to get bad to worse. There's always a storm brewing. Again, this collective, as soon as any point of wanting to regenerate this or sadness comes in, now it goes straight to the anger of the situation. But believe it or not, that anger to the situation, it really is, without you even knowing, you're angry at yourself for excusing it for so long, right? But now instead of... And not that you should be angry at yourself, everything happens for a reason, but instead of feeling that, it's that pointing that finger back. They're just X, Y, and Z, right? Without you knowing, it's you still questioning their character and the person that they are. Instead of just the whole situation at hand, right? But then this is nice. There is parts of you understand it was part of your journey. Do you want forward movement here? Yes. Do you still have moments of seeing this as your destiny? Yes. But then I think you get angry at yourself, and then this is where this comes in. Do you want the obstacles to be removed? Clearly at the bottom of your soul you do, but this is such a card of strength, and the reason he's so well directed and he moves forward when he makes the right decisions, because this is a real card of yes and no, right? When he chooses to hop on that chariot, it's his drive, it's his willpower, it's his action that pushes him forward. So to remove those obstacles and to create that forward direction. So I do think maybe this is why, if you want them more to embody that strength of that lion, that determination, that courage, then you would probably think, but I've only seen this. So again, maybe you go into this because you feel silly for wanting this, right? Again, this is the right collective's perspective. Okay, there's that Three of Swords in reverse. So more than none with this Ten of Swords. So you do want a reconciliation, you do. But I think the biggest thing is this collective. I really do think you get angry at yourself for wanting this. The healing, the moving forward. So that Ten of Swords, it's more should be in that reverse, because it's kind of a double confirmation, but you're fighting it. And that's exactly what this person's doing, exactly what they're doing, but in their own perspective, the way they think about things, right? Don't overgeneralize. So where they are going over their behavior and why it wouldn't work, you are so focused on their behavior, which is accelerating their fear and self-doubt that they'll never change. Watch from the beginning. This shows the power of soul bonds and soul threads, how it just, you ricochet. Don't need to be in the same room. It goes back and forth. So if this is something you really want, and I will confirm everything, this outlook, that's not helping the situation. But this is where you guys think, oh, but I'm just delusional, I'm just this. Well, hop off the train, hop off the roller coaster, because it's all about power of the mind and true belief and true surrender and understanding the lessons that needed to be learned. And actually, you wouldn't be going through that phoenix and finding yourself without this chaos, without this fire. You can't have a phoenix without a fire. And letting it be. And we talk about surrendering your plan all the time, but holding on to someone's character and judging them internally, it's not going to benefit you, and it's not going to ease your pain, because look at the cards around it. It's just creating mental fuzz, static, and confusion, because clearly your reset point for this collective, but I want this. This must be my destiny. So there's something you're not seeing, right? Right? Remember when I got this, I said, I feel this collective, you need a little bit of a perspective shift. Let's just get two more, and I'm going to get the universe's perspective on this. This is nice. I love Seven of Pentacles. I think you really hope that what was done really started to plant some seeds, and there's things germinating, especially when it comes to self-awareness, which is clearly happening. It's happening, but it's just a slow process, right? I always say this Seven of Pentacles, it prepares us. It makes us persevere. It makes us work really, really hard. It puts us through our Eight of Pentacles, Nine of Pentacles to create that Ten of Pentacles. It prepares us for harvest season. It prepares us to get the fruits of our labor. So I do think there's a part of you that really thinks that whatever was done here is germinating something beautiful. It's making something blossom. But then I think you do go into self-doubt and you question everything. That's your own belief system that's trying to heal from up above, right? Not their fault. This card says frustration too, so it is a slow journey and it will cause frustration, because the Seven of Pentacles calls for patience, so that's why it causes frustration. But Two of Wands, so deep down within you still, I see this as my future planning, but important decisions that need to be made. It's not complete anger here, but it's just the moments of frustration and maybe that get activated by impatience and you overgeneralizing and thinking, oh, well, if they really loved me, they would be back. They would have come back with an apology. They would have. Again, don't overgeneralize, right? Especially if it's divinely guided, cosmically guided. You can't help those wheels. It's not your ego's time. It's divine's time. Okay, let's quickly... I just want to see the universe's perspective on this whole dynamic. We split it on the owl. Okay. Oh, I'm not getting them all. Oh, God. Okay. Empress. All right. Universe's perspective. Oh. The house. It's nice. It was to teach you both the right framework, boundaries, going within, breaking free from certain belief systems, but this is a card of safety, of comfort, of home, belonging, roots, right seeds being planted. It's also a card of family, but structure. 4 and K could be an important initial. April could be an important month. Okay, the ship came out, going places, adventures. So let's just say your dynamic is meant to be more adventurous. I'm seeing that sea otter and lighthearted and playful, and you guys have to get to a point where you guys can experience that. Right now, you're both bound by so much hurt, right? So if the universe is saying their perspective is something that is meant to actually create joy, excitement, and literally adventure, travel, going with the wind, movement, enterprise. Like, if it's meant to create this, of course the right structure needs to come first, right? And where you guys are right now, it's nothing but emotional baggage and burdens and hurt, because you guys haven't had clear, transparent communication. But you're both at fault with that for the right collective. Now you've got the time has come. This is very good, but this clouds energy, this was destined to be here. How are you going to build and break through certain belief systems and learn boundaries and all of this without having to feel this? The thoughts, the problems, the doubts, the hesitation, things being beyond your view, things being unclear, the confusion, the indecisions, the misunderstandings. Again, it was destined to be a part of your dynamic, but a culmination of all your efforts will create a completion, abundance, fulfillment, release fruits of your labor. But once you truly focus on your own needs, harvest season comes. And remember the whole theme of this collective, you've finally broken the cycle on your end, right? But this person, Salem agrees, this person needs to break it on their end with their behavior. So you are trying so hard to focus on your own needs, and you've been clearly doing it. It's the moments the clouds come over you that you always fall back into the same habit of disbelief, doubt, thinking you're crazy. That is what needs to change. Release it. Because as soon as you truly solidify, just focusing on you and letting it be, not watching readings anymore, not going externally, just come from within, just trust, right? That's when the real magic starts to begin. It's every time they activate this, you come out of center. And look what it does on their end. Stallion, to break free, to teach you your wild versus tame, to balance your sugar and spice. And this has clearly happened here in this dynamic. You've repressed so much. You both repress so much to a state of explosion. I always say everything has a beautiful divine balance to it. When you're in your light, feminine energy, the whole love and light, right? That's when you lead with emotion, right? Because you're in a centered place. But when that darkness, let's say the dark feminine, comes over you, this is to teach you to not be explosive, morally evaluating, judging, that's where the logic needs to come in, right? I always say this journey, you need to find your voice, but it just needs to be tactful, right? So when that dark feminine comes over, you move with logic and intelligence, not emotion. You've got to learn you move with emotion when you're in your feminine, compassionate, understanding energy. When darkness comes over you, it's not to repress and to hold and no, I'm on a healing journey, I can't have a voice, It's that moment you get triggered. Okay, intelligent approach. I'm going to speak my needs, my wants, my boundaries, but I'm going to be tactful and kind. And that's what creates that harmonious, sacred balance within. But when people are on this journey and they suppress and they have to pretend like they're always kind and always loving, you're my kettle, right? And everybody gets triggered in this world, even if you're on a healing journey. But it's learning the balance of your trigger. When you're in feminine, unarmored, move with emotion. When you're armored, move with intelligence. This is when we use our brains. This is when we use our logic, right? Right, collective, this will make sense. This journey was meant to teach you that. When this strong emotion comes over, how to deal with it, not silence it, how to structure it, how to put framework around it. That dark feminine energy is actually more impactful than that divine light energy in the moment of grievance when dealt with intelligently. Driving force, unleashing that inner beast the right way. 64, my favorite angel. Beautiful. You guys could be destined to have a child if you haven't already. Transformation, change, renewing. Through the restlessness, you have to feel it to be able to transform through it. This is another one about moving. You guys, this is big. Renovating, maybe buying a home together. Pregnancy, birth. You could be slender and tall. They could be. Number 17. 17th of the 4th or the 6th. 3rd of the 10th. 10th of the 3rd. All right, let's confirm. You got 2 here. You needed to go through an ending to learn how to remove the obstacles, to learn how to approach each other through a centered, devoted place, to become dependable, faithful companions. Whatever you were building at the start, watch from the beginning, was never right in the first place because it wasn't built with the right foundation. And that's why you had it was rickety. You would never have been able to build a castle without an ending. It was off balance. It was off, but it needed to happen. Don't hold on to the past or blame. It needed to happen. It was never the right foundation to begin with. Never. You needed to both work on your self-esteem, your pride, your ego, your shadow work, learn to overcome difficulties, right? So before this all went into destruction, wouldn't surprise me if this collective, this connection awakened you. You would have been a critical lover, took love for granted in the past, right? Didn't really understand the power of love and how it should be appreciated. Always noticing the faults and not the greatness. And I'm not just saying you, this person would have been the same, right? looking at love as something that should complete you, not just that it's a compliment, it's a topping in our life. It should be appreciated. It shouldn't be perfect, it should be appreciated. People, I always say it, people don't understand the power of love and the appreciation for that compliment in our life. But truly, there could have been nothing done differently. When you guys met, you were both not in the self-awareness to make this work, right? It was destined for a coffin. But to create this, to learn effective communication, but fair and just, diplomatic, centered heart and devotion. 15th of April, 8th of September, 9th of August. Okay, so there is something coming with this sailing boat, but it needs to be handled very carefully. So whatever this movement is that's on its way here, movement, there's something about having to go with the wind and ride the wave, right? Gentle. And another thing, if this is what your dynamic is meant to embody, you are both sensitive souls. You both need to be handled carefully. You both need to understand each other's nervous system, each other's armor. You need to know how to soothe each other. You need to know how to not hold each other's vulnerabilities against one another. To get to this point, that takes a lot of work. This is meant to be a playful, adventurous, spontaneous, light-hearted, but passionate, best friend, weirdos kind of love. That weirdos card, my favorite card. How will you ever get this without taming this and learning effective communication? It's important. One more. They're saying, don't worry, easy going. But that leap of faith, easy going, don't worry. Prosperity lies ahead, a change in direction, a birth of a son, luck. I really do think this collective, you're destined for a child here. But this is the energy you guys will thrive in. And you need to find that with one another again. And that takes time after all of this kind of destruction. You don't go from a 10 of swords to a 10 of cups. We talk about it all the time. It's a big bridge to gap, right? But you guys have this expectation from destruction. It should just come in and everything should be okay again. No, it takes patience. It's that 7 of Pentacles. It's got to germinate. It's got to blossom again. To become dependable and faithful. It is definitely a soul connection here. 18th of the 10th, but the loyalty. There's a loyalty towards one another. Now, loyalty, everyone thinks that's a quality that they need. Unless you are a real stiffler, like that's a trigger point for you, people don't understand how loyalty can really activate a lot of trauma, right? Now, for this to come up underneath, the time has come. You in the past have had an issue of not working together as a team, allowing outside interference, other people's opinions to create obstacles. There was never that team, that unit, walking together as one. There was a lot of excess and other things that were chosen through opinions, whatever it is, instead of coming together and fighting as one, right? This is something that needs to be learned, and I see this a lot in my twin flames because you guys have societal issues. Your relationship, there's huge things that society just doesn't get. The age gap, the religious, spiritual differences, right? Nobility factors, sexualities, marriage. There's things that people just constantly have opinions. And if you aren't working as one, because you're meant to teach this world, love is love, right? That's the divine mission. To really make people understand the power of love, unconditional love, acceptance of all walks of life, right? Compassion, understanding, forgiving and forgetting, right? Big things that you guys are meant to teach this world. This is why there's such societal blocks here in your dynamic. Without that loyalty, dependability towards one another, it doesn't work. It puts destruction in your dynamic. But The things that worked against you were all to make your dreams a reality. You all have healing paths separately for a reason. The Beaver full moon could have been an important time as well, because this is underneath the full moon. That was the November moon. And it was all to teach you persistence as well. 18th of October or the 8th of October, 818, you could be saying, oh my God, beautiful. So these clouds, it all comes from when you emotionally release and stop chasing after something. Huge confirmation to that first deviation. So the overflowing abundance from tears of sorrow to tears of joy, right? Your fulfillment will come, the release will come when you stop chasing after something. Emotional release, energetical or physical, it's as bad as each other. I talk about it all the time because of your threads. Number 34, I want one more for that. And the elephant. Sun, my yes card, it literally says yes, exclamation point, confirming. But yes, energy, power, emotional climax, fulfillment, again another card of pride. Not winning. Radiant success, divine masculine energy, daytime victory, happiness and warmth, the sun through the clouds. And what does that create? Through a sun shower, a beautiful rainbow or a double rainbow. And rainbows, and believe it or not, rainbow is a color. It's the color of telepathic connection. So you're always threads connected. Just ricochet each other's doubts and hesitations. Watch from the beginning. Okay, so you were meant to deal with this mask to teach you, remember the deviation about the logic, intelligence through the dark feminine, that deviation. Their mask was meant to teach you this. How to find your balance, how to stop repressing, how to not repress to explosion. Wouldn't surprise me if maybe you're a 7. I find 7s have a real struggle with this. You're ruled with empathy. You're ruled with emotion. Neptune guides you guys. So that emotion that runs through you, 7s normally don't like to create ripples. You are so connected to the energy around you. Enlightenment, that's what brings you into balance and fulfillment. But you guys repress so much. You're normally conflict avoidance, but you can have Jekyll and Hyde personalities until you're balanced and you understand how to find balance. And if you are on a path of enlightenment, because again, that is what balances a 7, fulfills a 7, you need to know controlled emotion. You need to know balance. It's a tough lesson. And this person was clearly meant to teach you that through this behavior, the disguise, the concealing, this collective, you're just seeing this so surface level right now, right? Because they're seeing it surface level. They're just trying to break out of that. Anyway, watch from the beginning. Oh, this is what's going to transform through the restlessness, the fox behavior. That's their lessons to learn, right? But you as well, this collective, wearing a mask yourself. You were wearing a mask. Watch the whole thing. So this, remember I said that, always trying to pretend to be this because you were fearful. You were fearful of what would come next. You yourself, little bit of fox behavior, mirroring this. Always holding your cards, again, just watch from the beginning if this is really your collective. There's a lot here. Wouldn't surprise me with this collective. This is a soul contract card. You've got 2 here. Proposal, engagement, agreement, soul agreement, next level, promise, partnership, statement of intent, marriage and union. That's just a very big jump, so I'm just trying to see. Okay, of course the wheel comes out. Whatever the case, this right collective, it was meant to tap you into your destiny, your spirituality, your divine guidance, but the trials, tribulations, it was a necessity here. The emotional loss, all the crisis, all of it was all fated. Now the wheel's over this. So you've got the Wheel of Fortune, fate, karma, cycles, forces of the universe, destiny, double destiny. You're going to get what you deserve, but it's out of your hands. I'm really surprised because I've been feeling it all the way through, how mirrored, and it feels very divinely guided, which it is, but I was feeling more of a, hold on, one more. Trust, stop it. They're saying trust in divine timing. There is balance taking place. At the end of the day, this was definitely meant to balance you both. You've got some soul contract cards and you've got soul connection here. Again, I'm surprised the Twinny card didn't come out, or the Swans card, but there's something definitely universally guided. And Judgment. Hold on, we'll try one more. It's not about the label, is it? But head of the pack business could have been tied to this too. Got the Divine Masculine. With things are unfolding. Okay, they're not going to show, but they're nervous. We know that. Okay, major opportunities, celebrating the light, they're growing, they're expanding. I'm just hearing stop in my mind because I'm staring at that divine. Okay, Phoenix. At least they're going through a Phoenix too. Okay. Death, rebirth, catalyst of the heart awakening, rising from the ashes, total transformation, complete renewal. That's nice. Okay. All right. Let's see this person's true intention here. Leo, that could be important. All right. I knew it when I said it at the start, so they know. That's the right collectives pattern. The ghost, the block. Their victim mentality, so they are reflecting on it. That's because, just again, the theme of it, I don't think they're in victim mentality, because this is where their biggest realization is, how long they've been blaming, right? So this ghosted, they know this is not good behavior. They know it's childish, and they would have regret for it. This collective, as soon as it happened at this point, this person would have had regret straight away, but then their pride kicked in. There's a reason I deviated and I was getting, like, it was making sense in my mind. This person, I really think, goes for that block button. It's like they're trying to block you before you can block them. It's a fear. It's a control thing for them, right? Again, watch from part 1. Ego. It's a pride. They know it. That's good. My pride and ego held me back and stopped me from being my true, authentic self. Huge part of this reading for both of you. I'm afraid you'll reject me because I fear I'm not good enough for you. Can you handle all my scars? My self-confidence was just a facade, as was yours. The mask of, from part 1. Number 17, 54, 68. Oh, God. Didn't I say, look at that. Perfect. Soon as they did this, they felt sick, but their pride got in. Unsent messages. They've probably gone to unblock or send this so many times. Divine Masculine. They're working on it. They know they need to, right? They would have tried so much. This is being veiled. It's being cosmically guided. This moment, that's where those endless sleepless nights are coming. I feel so yuck about it. I really want to tell you how I feel, but is it too late? And the timing. And remember, in your part, I said you're probably so agitated because you're thinking, oh my God, if they wanted to, they would. I would never do this to someone I love. Bah, bah, bah. Again, they think differently. The fear overtakes them. It's because they care too much. I'm working on my divine masculine side. I need to be more assertive. So they know it. They lack confidence, but they try and pretend like they're the most confident person in the world. I need to speak up for myself and no longer bow out of things and situations when I become fearful, and fight for what I love, and that is you. This person's clearly, they really would struggle with rejection trauma and not knowing how to handle disappointment. It would just emotionally swallow them whole. I think you're both highly sensitive people, and it's a protection thing, a trauma response thing that they know is not healthy. I can't show that, but so triggered by this whole victim thing. It's triggering them because it's dragging up so much stuff. And for so long, they were blaming you for every trigger, and they're realizing it, right? And they feel so silly. Again, that time, that's number 77. When we're reading their perspective. How did I not see this for so long? So that's part of this collective, what you brought up. One more for that. This person blamed you for a very long time. But now, construction could be important. They're wanting to rebuild. But they know there needs to be compromise and understanding and deep discussion, which freaks them out still. It still freaks them out. Cancer energy, the hot and cold because of their ego. I was always so hot and cold with you, and I know that was confusing. Our connection was too much for me to handle, and it was the only way I could deal with it. It's not that they knew it was confusing. They didn't know nothing because of how you were presenting with your mask. You both didn't know how to deal with each other because you weren't being authentic and vulnerable. You were both being masked. This collective pretending like it wasn't affecting you, that would piss them off. You wouldn't know, so they would present undaunted and hot and cold and like, this oblivious to what had happened when you both were in agony. I always tell you guys this, when someone pops up out of the blue, they're consumed with you. It doesn't matter how they've come in, if they're acting this way, that way, they are consumed. But you guys get so trapped in what you're reading instead of thinking, oh, I must be on this person's mind. Like, do you know what I... Because you're leading with emotion and expectation. Oh, but they should have come in like this. Why did they come in like that? Oh my God, instead of saying, oh my God, it's been X, Y, and Z, they've popped up. Clearly I'm on their mind. Clearly they're wanting to, but they're acting this way. It must be coming from their vulnerability. Like, you guys go straight to how they've approached. It wasn't enough, right? This person, unfortunately, it's presented very hot and cold because in their mind, your behavior, it was like if they were really invested and in as much pain as I was, they wouldn't be this happy. So they would have remembered you in your connection when your armors weren't up. You were probably very open with communication, emotion. You know, maybe you chased them a little bit at the start. Maybe you showed them how much you really cared for them, right? They would have seen the depth of love you had for them. So this whole pretending like everything's okay after everything, it wasn't aligning with the memories of when you truly cared, right? Collective, this will make sense, and vice versa. It was both of your expectations, both of your prides were up, both of your egos were up when dealing with one another, and it backfired. And like we said in that part, this is why I tell you guys, be transparent, don't wear a mask, because you'll be met with a mask. Okay, memory. Well, they would be because they're going over the time. This is important. So from June 21st, August 5th, August 6th to September 21st. One more. Two more naughty thoughts. Any difficult differences, the societal blocks, and this is why you guys need to learn loyalty and how to work as a team. But yes, at the bottom. So they are obsessively thinking about you right now. Makes sense. But they are also going over the obstacles and the roadblocks and maybe also not seeing your perspective. If something you guys are meant to be healing together, like through that contract energy, they would be readjusting to this and understanding they were never seeing your obstacles the right way. Again, it was adding to their victim mentality and their excuses. But I have to say this, their perspective on everything, the way they fight all of the good emotion with it, but it's not going to work. They're still a little bit of this here, right? And it may, whatever they're going through right now, soul discovery wise, and I said it in that part, they still need acceleration with it because it's adjusting, but there's still so many excuses in their mind why it won't work. And this collective, the right collective, it's exactly the same. Exactly the same. Different outlook, but same. Every time you want it, you think, oh, but it's da-da-da, I'm just crazy. Again, watch from part 1. I've got to get their true emotion to this whole situation. Oh. Okay. Stop it. So all the mind games, having to tread on eggshells, the silent treatment, aggressive outbursts, that wild versus tame card. But again, this is them. I think it's the deep reflection, the moodiness, and I think they are moody right now. Really temperamental. They're sulking. They're going a lot of ups and downs, very unsettled right now. Enlightened. That's good. We love that. So they are developing. They're starting to see this whole situation differently for the first time, but they feel excluded now. And that's that flood of fear. They feel shut out, left out, blocked. And I said that was where that deviation started from. Rejected, not part of your life, that you've pushed them out, but a new perspective and a better understanding and a mature, this says matured, I don't think completely, but they've had a wake-up call, realization. Part 1. It's good. Probably why they're mood and sensitive. I think you're both very sensitive. This person's highly sensitive. You would have seen this person would have been quite emotional. Maybe they cried quite a bit. Little things they would take to heart or really personally. You would have noticed this about this person. Sad. Seeing that grief, they're definitely sad. Low, unhappy, melancholy, down, disappointed, upset, let down. That first part, just the heaviness that came on my chest as I was reading them. Their shameless behavior. So maybe that's what you called them on too. But again, it was the mask. If you don't like it, that's your problem. I do what I want, I say what I want. How they had no empathy, how they had no shame. They were very forward. Maybe they would always approach quite sexually. I think this is what they're going over, right? Their behavior, it's making them so, but it's good. Enlightened, right? So they definitely won't act that way towards you again. The loyalty, that's another big one. One more. Oh, that my rose quartz and my willow tree again. Oh, the sorry with the oh no, it was the cat one. Maybe you're a crazy cat lady. It was like this. I'm a crazy cat lady. It was like that. That's important. Maybe your cats are giving you more love right now, your animals. But sorry. Regretful, knowing they're wrong, sad. They're not, I don't think this person's ready because they're worried they're going to be judged, right? And how they judged you as well, especially with those difficult differences. Should I get that purple deck quickly to see if there is movement? I'm not feeling it for this, not this week. Sad, remorseful, apologetic, olive branch, sorry, feeling bad, guilty. I just can't see how it's this week because of how back and forth they are in their mind. They're definitely on the verge because they've got those unsent messages. I think I'm just going to get these Divine Truth cards. If the communication card comes out in that, we'll just confirm. But I more want to do these in message cards and just get tarot for what will come next when they approach you. Is this collective that it's that surrender to divine time and trust, and but it's not about timing for you guys, it's about release. The soul agreement. So they are going over that. They're shattered, truly. Old habits are breaking them down, but a new version of them is being revealed. That's what you want here. Be patient. They're all talk. Ugh, I know you're tired of hearing all my excuses, all talk, no action. The memories are flooding in now. It's all part of your process, this collective. The memories we made together forever replay in my mind. That's that obsessive naughty thoughts card that keeps, not just naughty thoughts, but just the obsessive. Okay, your psychic abilities. This makes sense with the very first deck because they're so flooded in fear about their deception. We went into a big little meh about it. So that makes sense why this is on their mind, because they know they need to tell you something, but they don't know how much you know. Your intuition scares me. How much do you really know? This says about me, but I'm going to say this situation, right? Which adds to the fear. And that was the red flag I was seeing, which you can tell makes them not ready, right? Soul agreement, their little player energy. What they're going over, how they were immature, lacking emotional intelligence, how you could never trust their intentions, just the big bravado, right? It was all part of it. The mask, the fox, the this, the whole thing. Shattered. Oh. Look at the reflection on all the times you guys had together. This is breaking them. They want to enjoy you again. Oh, God. And this is why now they have so much fear, because they feel excluded. Like you won't even give them that chance. Black and white. So they're all talk, but they weren't seeing things right. I've always tried to be realistic with my life, but you were I'm going to say starting, not you have. You're starting to open me up to the colour and how thankful they were to have you. It really is, and that's the middle row. That, what have I done? Memories. You got it twice. So it's the universe that's unlocking it. Stop it. That's good. That's unescapable then. And your psychic abilities. The communications at the bottom, but it didn't want to come out. Surrender. So mirroring came out underneath psychic abilities, and I'm like, you would see it all. And I said they would be very special as well, right? Then I wanted one more to confirm it because of the things that you see. The spiritual detox, the negativity, the toxic connections, releasing negative thoughts and people, major spiritual awakening, cleanse and rebirth is happening. This collective, you feel it. They're probably questioning, can you feel it? They probably think you know. And if you haven't reached out and you've blocked them and you're this and you're that, that's probably also why they think that you're over it, because you've shown them nothing but kindness. Watch from part 1. So if they think that you know, because the mirror, that they're going through exactly what you went through and you're not making your presence clear, oh. I want one more. It's transforming them though. So just stay put. Transformate. 5D! Oh my God! That is a really good row. And then everything's unfolding. You got the mirroring, the transformation through the spiritual detox, 5D activation. Very good. An apology so they would be seeing things themselves. When you guys activate to the universe around you, oh my God, you guys all think you're gods and goddesses and Jesus and the one, and oh, what comes through you guys. Oh, okay. Okay. Let's just get a few of these and I'm going to get tarot. What do they want to say? Painful memories. Right, now it's the triggers. All the triggers are coming up. That yellow deck. I think it's you not waiting anymore. I think it's you not being there anymore. I think this is where they realize they never saw this properly. All those little moments that they would come to check in and this and that, just thinking that again, watch from part 1. I think the whole time they thought that you would, not that you were waiting, but you were always accepting, and that it would come back, right person, wrong time when it was meant to, right? But this is what they're starting to wake up to and feel very silly thinking. how they took advantage of this whole connection. Would be painful. This is nice. I wish to be like, it's not that they want to be like you, but that last row, the psychic abilities, the mirroring, the 5D activation, you'd be so ahead of this person's journey. It'd be the center that you found, or the knowledge that you found, or that's where I think it's like, because remember, a big part of this person, I don't think I'll ever heal, I don't think I'll ever change. And I said for you guys would have gone through that as well. This journey is a long process. Okay, if I could go back in time, I'm hearing that Cher song. If I could turn back time. That's what I'm hearing. Love her. In time, I would handle this differently. Boy, oh boy, would they. But universe's part needed to break. That house, the coffin, to build the lion's strength. Do what's best for your heart. I think that's what they think you're doing now, because you've released the 10 of Wands in reverse, the Lover's card. But I do think they genuinely want this, and this is also why they're holding back. They don't want to toy with you anymore, because you've made it very clear you're not dealing with it anymore. So that all talk, no action, like they're, and in an odd way, and this is making sense, I feel this collective, you blocked them. Because that first deviation that came out of nowhere. But anyway, I feel this collective, you have this, they wanted to, they would have come back right now, they would have, but the right collective, you've called them on it. You said you're not going to excuse it anymore. You literally put up the boundary of stay away from me. However you did it, you made this person know their behavior that they put towards you, it ain't gonna fly. So this person sitting in silence is frustrating this collective, but they don't want to toy with you anymore. They're wanting to be better. And once again, it shows how you're not on the same page emotionally, because you're overgeneralizing. You think if it was you, you would have acted differently. They're a different person to you. But it just, again, the frustration, this collective, your perspective you're getting is the lack of movement. If anything, they don't want to show you that version that you said you never want to see again, right? But they've got to change that version. That takes time. I say healing takes years, right? So this one is important. And they can't come to you right now because of the pain. And it makes them even more pain, because they know that they're not who you deserve to be, who they deserve. They know they're not who you deserve to have by their side, right? They know it. They know it. And this is why they're so back and forth in their mind. Will I change? Will I this? Rah, rah, rah. The first part. But they long for, so there's a big, that naughty thoughts, they're longing for you. It's not why is it that you love me. I think now they're starting to realize that you did love them for so long. You would have let them know in this last point, but you won't deal with it anymore. That's what I'm thinking, because they feel like this earlier, and I feel this collective, you finally put all your emotion on the table and it wasn't dealt with right and you lost your shit. And I think this person was in shock. I'm going to be honest, I think this person was in shock. And maybe they do still reflect on, how did this person even really love me? Like, look at what, like, I think they're in shock by the whole thing. And we went into depth with this when we were reading your perspective with the masks, right? You gotta remember they were I'm not going to repeat myself. I don't know who I am anymore. So they're lost. And look what they're going through, the complete mind activation. You don't know who you are anymore because you're meant to lose the old version. I believe that. Pain I felt when I was reading that, I believe that. I cry at night. So even you doing what's best for you and trying to protect you because they know they're not right now, it pains them. It pains them. Painful memories, first card, I cry at night. Here, but this collective, that's what you put on the table. You'll never take anything less than you deserve anymore. So without you even knowing, you've created the situation to trap them, to evolve. So now let them evolve, right? This is what you activated in them, but now you need to stay strong and let go of resentment. It's because of the word exchange they're going through. You have to be patient. And you know that deep down within. But you're losing hope and belief because it's taking longer than you envisioned or expected. Right? Whose fault's that? Collective. This is why they're going over that shameless behavior and this and that. They're being very hard on themselves right now. You need to trust the process. And I promise you, this collective, you'll never get that approach again. Right? But anyway, let's see. So, again, I'm not going to roll a dice, but I'm just going to see when their next action does come, how they're going to approach you, and advice for how you should handle this next point, and then the outcome. All right, their next action, the reconciliation. We got that. Oh. Okay, so they're going to come in very confident. All right. Oh, God. Hold on, I want one more because for this Four of Pentacles, that's not good. Hold on, Four of Pentacles. Six of Wands. Okay, that makes sense. When I'm reading love, Six of Wands is a declaration of love, right? That I've allocated. Now, I do think they're going to lead with confidence, probably more leaning more towards that feminine. You can see with the emotion they're going to bring up. A big focus for them is their victim mentality right now, and I've allocated Nine of Swords as it's very painful, but sometimes we're not seeing it right. We're seeing it in a bit of victim mentality lens. I do think they're going to talk about how much they've held back here, and unfortunately the sadness that didn't just create for you but also for themselves, and how they weren't seeing this right. For so long they saw it X, Y, and Z. Five of Cups, I always say we're not seeing the silver lining in that situation either, right? We're so focused on what was spilt, we're not focusing on the structure and the things that we should be focusing on. And I think that's a big part of this conversation. I do think this person's going to come in with confidence and they're really going to lead the way, but they're very emotionally focused when they come in. And I do think, even though they have this real confident front, a big part of their energy is their sensitivity. And I think this person, even though they're coming in to really with a focus of triumph and victory here, I think the things that this person is really going to bring up is coming from the most vulnerable place they know how. So whatever emotion they're putting on the table, and it's still being led with fear and anxiety. So it's going to be a very touchy situation here on how you approach it. Because for them, what's coming next here, you've got to remember they've been holding back everything for so long. They've been in this scarcity mindset of fear this whole time. I always say this is that, for me, you know, Gollum in Lord, my precious, just obsessively thinking, but so literally bound to scarcity and the fear of loss, right? This is going to be a touchy one. But I do think for the right collective, especially when I was reading their energy in the first part, the heaviness and sadness that came over me, I actually think it's going to be very easy for you to have understanding and empathy here. And you know this person. You would know this person inside and out. Not through this time apart. Clearly, you've both been wearing a mask. But I think what you're about to see from them, even though it might not be all viewed in the exact right perspective, you're going to know it's genuine. You're going to know it's authentic. And I think you're going to see that even though this person is coming in confidently, it's still a very tender situation, right? And I'm hearing this, maybe this person can be a little bit surface level, but I do think they're going to, because you got the naughty thoughts and how they long for you, and I even think they're going to bring up you as your peer. I know this sounds very silly, but I'm going to say it, it's coming to my mind. But not just the emotion, but how they view you as, like, she is my seductive, she is attractive. And I think, not that I just think maybe the validation or the over excessively kind of trying to, that might get you a little bit like, huh? And maybe not believe the depth of what they're saying and how much if they keep bringing up you more of your appearance and how much they miss this and no one compares and you're this and you're that, you may think it's a little bit surface level, but I think that's just how this person sees you. The intensity and that enticement of your energy is coming up in all of their parts. So I don't think they're trying to just flatter you. I do think it's still genuine, but clearly this person, they're good with words of affirmation, right? So deep conversation led with fear though. And I do think some of the things they're going to bring up, they're still not completely viewing the right way, but that's not for you to dissect. This is definitely not something you want to be starting an argument or a back and forth with, right? Not in the moment of emotion. Let's get one more. Well, star. We're going to try and really put the calm and peace back into this dynamic. But this is my miracle card. And very spiritual, cosmic child. You might see a bit of a spiritual evolution in this person and the way that they're speaking as well. If spirituality caused a bit of a wedge here, they could even bring this up. I do think they're going to try and be as real and authentic and honest as they physically know how, right? You've got to remember what's driving them is wanting this victory, declaration of love, but they're going to declare the way they know how. And it might be kind of a lot, I don't want to say all surface level, it's going to be deep, but as for talking about a lot of the things they know they need to take accountability for, I don't think they're completely there yet, right? But that's not them trying to avoid or manipulate. I just still think their perception on the whole situation, it's just starting to alter. And the biggest thing is you've got to, that first part, their perspective, the way they keep every time they want to, but there's the but, this will happen, that will happen, this. They're setting themselves up even when they approach. It's clearly coming from a cosmic trigger when they approach all this surrender to the divine, the wheel of fortune. That's what's driving this right now. So there's still going to be a lot of seeds of doubt. So this one, snowflake energy. It's going to be, you're going to have to handle it carefully. And remember universe's perspective. This dynamic is going to soar when you're in that ship and that snowflake. And what was there was another card, the easygoing, the grasshopper. So you guys are going to have to try and reinstill more of a light-hearted, playful kind of energy back in your dynamic. So this excessive emotion, if it's too excessively emotional and a lot of back and forth of emotion, it's just going to become too heavy and you're both going to get overwhelmed, right? Of course it needs to be soothed and discussed, but you just don't want to be sitting in weeks of dragging up past things. And like, you have to come to an agreement. If you want to make this work, talk about the past, but relieve the past. Let it go. You will not start anew if you keep bringing up the past and the old. If you choose to trust in this and you choose to go ahead with this, then you guys both need to make that decision together. Let the past go and get to know each other again. And of course, through certain little triggers, it's going to be activated and you'll be tempted to, but that's when you guys need to talk. Okay, I know I'm holding on to I know we should talk about it, discuss it, right? But you really do need to get to know each other again. Because you hold on to everything that's been done, you'll never build trust. You have to both, and if you're not at that point to want to just let it go, forgive and forget, forgiving and learning, and to truly have a fresh start, don't move it forward until you're ready. Be transparent. Be transparent. I don't know if I'm ready to let everything go. Like, this is going to take some baby steps. Maybe we need to start off as friends. Maybe we need to see if we can be consistent with one another. Maybe we need to see if we're still triggering each other through. Like, you've got to be realistic, right? Remember I said in this, you can't go from a 10 of swords to a 10 of cups straight away, right? Anyway, let's see how you guys should deal with this. 5 of Wands in reverse, no arguments, solutions, solution prone. Focus on the solutions, harmonizing, right? Restoring the peace and harmony of the connection. So instead of focusing and nitpicking, like we said, focus on solutions. Biggest thing. This is coming from up above. You can really harmonize this. I genuinely feel you can trust in this. A thing that's a little bit, I just don't think they're seeing everything clearly, but they're not trying to manipulate you. They're just still not seeing things clearly. As for this whole whatever they're hiding with deception, I think that ties into this Nine of Swords, this Five of Cups, and this Four of Pentacles of what they've been holding back. But I'm going to be honest, you don't have an Ace of Swords here. You don't have that Seven of Swords in reverse. You don't have anything about those big, even the Sun, big revealed straight away. How they come in next, it's more of an emotional standpoint. I'm so sorry, blah, 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 you're this to me. Oh, no one can. It's like kind of more that when it first comes in. So if you have an expectation they're just going to come in with these truths and revelations, you're setting yourself up, because that's not what's coming next. It feels like this person, because they're just surrounded by scarcity mindset and fear, they're going to need to feel, you're both going to need to probably build a bit more before that truth comes out. You need to trust in the divine's plan. I actually think for this collective, if that came out first, it would be a detriment to trying to build this again, right? And that's why you need to take it slow, because until they come out clearly, you're not going to be able to build and trust. But I think if they led with that, it would just create another storm for you guys. You need to trust in the divine's plan with this one. But again, focus on the solutions. Okay. All right. I wouldn't be focusing on all the cups at once and wanting everything to be put together at once, because it's just, it'll put you in confusion. One cup at a time, one step at a time. Okay, Ace of Trust, Miracle card. My 2 Miracle cards came out, and I always say this takes a long time to ground, but there's so much potential and security. But I think that's more you're going to have to choose to really walk away from the past. You really are. I'm seeing that release your ex card. It's like release the past versions of one another. One more for that. Active listening. So that is, it's like a 50-50 here. I do think this person is going to put the dedication to succeed here, but you need to do the same, and you both need to work on active listening and compromise and effective communication. And when you can't see it in that outlook, because there's lessons here from learning in the past, from the past with communication, you need to walk away and put pause. Like we said, if you're not ready, be honest, right? If you're not at the point for active listening, going back and forth, compromise, effective communication, don't push something that's not ready to be pushed. That effortlessness, don't try and force the river, right? Even with this, I promise you, this collective, this one could take months to come back together, to build, of consistency, right? To start building that foundation, because you're both very sensitive. You're both very sensitive when it comes to emotion, and that takes time to learn each other's nervous system. It's not just something that's going to change in a few days. You don't want to rush it, right? Another thing that's pretty obvious here, I wouldn't be rushing to see one another straight away for this dynamic, right? You could actually have distance between you guys, and if you do, it's for a reason. This, I think, needs more consistency through communication first, like back and forth, phone calls, face, whatever it is, just to see if you guys can start to trust one another, to start bringing those walls down the right way, right? Seems very temperamental, this one. Without solutions, it's going to add to the it's going to take time to ground. But trust in the potential of it, right? If you want to. All right, if they go slow and steady, what's the outcome going to be here? The Sun, the illumination, the truth here. 3, then the dating, and then getting to... you can do little dates over FaceTime too, but I'm hearing that for a reason. Authenticity is needed, but I really do believe everything's going to get illuminated just at the right time. And maybe outcome... going to start dating again, and this is a card of reconciliation, and again, getting to know each other again. You can't go from a 10 of Swords to 10 of Cups. Treat it as a brand new person, right? Very happy ending here. Very happy ending. But it's going to take endurance, literally from the moon to the sun. So all of those fears, anxieties, things that have been trapped in an illusion, one after another, I do think there's going to be a lot of illumination. As soon as you guys have trust in one another that you're not going anywhere, I promise you the true emotional floodgates of honesty is going to open, right? This one, it's a little bit reversed because I normally feel you guys need that truth to really create a breakthrough. This collective, it's a little bit different because you're both so highly sensitive. I think certain truth too quickly is just gonna drag up too much unhealed emotion because you've never discussed the emotion in your dynamic. So leading with that, it's just going to be too much for your brain to handle. Let's get one more for these two. Oh, what is that? That flew on me. That's important. Strength, compassion, understanding, forgiving and learning, confidence, infinite potential. Learn how to guide that hurricane constructively. Remember, she knows how to tame the lion. So when it all comes out, you're going to be able to have strength and courage through the emotion and trust in the pure intention that's being unfolded, right? Believe. Slow and steady, look what happens. Beautiful. And you've got 2 cards of infinite potential. And you'll be able to move with wisdom and logic and intelligence, emotionally charged, right? There's going to be tameness here. But if you led with that, it would be way too emotionally charged because, again, you both have never really understood each other's emotion. So then hearing on top of it all of these things that were this and that, it would be destined for a tower. You need to trust the divine with this one. Don't be prodding and picking. Ride the wave. Ride the wave. This is very beautiful. Look at what you're guided with. Major arcana, big universal lessons here. Sun, moon with strength over the top for your outcome. All the lessons you've learnt from one another too are going to be very, very prevalent here when it comes to the outcome of this. The happiness and the playfulness that your relationship needs. Oh, don't like that one, but with maybe you're both as bad as each other when it comes to the lustfulness and the attractiveness. You got 2 of cups there. That's my equals. Okay. But again, the adventure, the childlike innocence, the fun, the spontaneity, the rebellion, like this Knight of Wands, I know, you know me, I'm always like, don't like that. That leads with sexual desire. But you got 2 of Cups with that. But I think it's more the qualities that he has within that you both, because I'm going back to that ship. It just reminds me of the dynamic of your relationship. But of course, when it comes to the attraction and that magnetic pull, whatever the case is, you both are the same with that. So you match that energy. So that ain't a bad thing here, as long as it's not impulsive with communication and leading with passion when it comes to ignitions, right? But again, you've got 2 of Cups over this, so balance and duality through it, right? But you got 2 cards here of reconciliation, a high desire in your dynamic. So just I can't, that's got balance over it. I was going to say you don't want your relationship to just be about that, but I can't see it with these cards. Let's get one more. King of Pentacles at the bottom. That's good. That's that trust, that loyalty that you guys need to develop. Okay. There will be a lot of repeated lessons here. But it could be a turning point. It could be a big push. But again, you will even be tested with this. And I always say true soul connections, this is why it's got to take time, because the acceleration of the nervous system, right? But all the unanswered things, all the unanswered questions, all of that, it will come to surface, but it will just unfold naturally. You've got a lot of universal lessons with this one, and it might present challenging at times. It's not going to be just, oh, sunshine and roses. I always say absolute security is an illusion, especially for true soul dynamics. You got to learn how to soothe the amplified triggers. So they're going to be here, but at least you've got this over the top of it. And always treat each other as equal. Don't put yourself up on a pedestal or in an ivory tower, and it's the same for this person, right? Communication is going to always be something you guys need to stay on top of. You got some big lessons with this one, this collective. This says Endgame on here in Braveheart, by the way. It's very cute. All right, I just want to get that little pink deck quickly because one thing I will say with that outcome, and it just really confirms again, even taking it slow, even when it comes to the outcome of slow and steady, that I know you got 2 reconciliation cards, but we didn't get 4 of Wands and the 10. Like, it's not rushing to the end stop of moving in together and building that. Like, it's still slow, right? Even the outcome from that, it starts with dating. It starts with honesty. It starts with transparency. It starts with seeing, can you guys open up on an emotional level and not ignite it, right? That sexual chemistry and desire and all that, but can you reinstill the fun and the excitement? You had the wheel in reverse here, so there's gonna be some testing points. It's like even that nothing is set in stone. You guys have some work to do. I just want to reconfirm that, right? For people that don't really know tarot much, anything about solid commitment and foundation, it is not there just yet. There's still things that need to be. This collective, without that dynamic, it won't work. I always say some collective, some relationships, you can sit at home and watch TV and be repetitive, eat, work and sleep, whatever the case, and you guys thrive in it. Other connections, they don't. They need excitement. They need date nights. They need adventure. They need trips away. They need this, right? And especially with your relationship number, especially if you're a 3, you're ruled by Jupiter. All relationship dynamics are different. This collective specifically, what makes you guys thrive is the happiness, the sea otter energy, because you're 2 very highly sensitive people. You need enjoyment and fun, right? Don't make it fit. This is important, because this, you guys, if you do not reinstill that and it's too emotionally based, you're destined for destruction. You really are. It's not about not having emotion, but it's the balance of everything. That wheel in reverse is so because it can create a turning point. It's how you get through this next chapter, right? But again, with that Knight of Wands and 2 of Cups, that's needed for both of you. It's needed for both of you. Don't be codependent on one another. Making sure you're still spreading your wings. Have you learnt the lessons that you need to learn from this separation for your dynamic, right? Trusting in one another. You need to build the trust. You need to not force the river. You're trying to force the river after all the damage that's been done in this. It's codependence to the outcome. Let it unfold. Let this person learn how to lead the way with you too. Let them lead the way when it comes to planning, dating, this and that. Give them the strength they need, right? Wouldn't surprise me. You had 2 cards about you guys are destined to have a baby. But you, again, it's riding the wave though. In your soul cards, your spirit cards, your universe, you had marriage, you had all of it there. In your tarot, not just yet, it's not set in stone. This is a big one of trust, right? Huge. This is just your next step. This is a stepping stone for your dynamic. The spiritual factors, really, this is big too. This needs to be addressed with you guys, because I think that's where your obstacles are. Part of your obstacles, your difficult differences, cultural, religious, spiritual beliefs. That's another thing, especially if you want to have children. How do you want to raise your children? Like, this all comes to long-term things as well, right? Pay attention. I don't want to say to the red flags, but to the emotional ignition, because this is a big lesson. Don't move with masks. How to learn to communicate with this instead of just shutting down and wearing a mask or being reactive. This is a big one. This is where that will comes in. Are you going to learn this? Because you won't build trust otherwise. forgiving and learning. We said that before, let go of the past. Can you do that? Some big things that are on its way here. Don't just think about the end stop. Feel your emotion as you guys are growing together. Does it really feel right? Are you listening to your nervous system? Can you truly forgive and forget? That's another thing. That's that Knight of Wands, the attraction for... I don't think you should let attraction lead the way, but even when I stopped and I said the way this person's going to talk about your appearance, like, it was a bit odd for me even saying that, but it's clearly something part of this person. There's this really high attraction for one another, but don't just... It's not about just making your relationship about that, but this is another weird testing point here, I feel, right? That magnetic desire and lustful energy, but they're saying give it a chance. It's not giving it a chance, but it's just understanding the lessons along the way, right? Okay. Giving your relationship a chance. Work on your partnership. Work on it together. And take time. All right. Let's get you some charms. Divine timing, perfect timing. Trust this has stopped at 10:26. The 26th of October could be important. Full moon energy. You've got the communication bell here, but both of your pearls, you're both special Two of Cups. The broken necklace, you could have broken a necklace that this person got you, or just broken. Butterfly energy, evolution, especially of the mind's eye. Again, you could have just bought witch's bells or a pet collar. Angel aura quartz. Perseverance. This is going to take more perseverance, but luck will be on your side if you just take it slow and don't be codependent to the outcome or each other. Black protection, black candle wax. You could have a black candle going. Important dates, memories. 19th of the 4th, 19th of the 1st. That could be an important date coming up this month. 6th of the 1st, 1st of the 6th. 13th of the 6th, 13th of the 1st, 1st of the 1st. 15th of December. I was about to say November. 15th of the 12th. 12th of March, 3rd of December. 19th of the 6th, 19th of the 9th. 199. All right, my loves. I love you guys and have a good day.